All right. We're gonna do this like take number four, bro. But anyway, welcome back to Enshrouded and welcome back to my channel, man. Hey, look, that last video got a lot of support, and I just want to thank everybody who came out and liked that video and subscribed. Or I really appreciate it. Today's video, we're gonna keep it a little short and we're gonna keep it a little bit more simple. So today's video, we're just gonna briefly go over the most recent thing I've been doing, which is the town build. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. Most of what you see here are either just kind of like hollowed out ideas. They're not fully fleshed yet, so it's not quite ready for a full video breakdown. But what I will be doing in the next couple of weeks is fleshing out a little bit more of the builds and doing individual breakdowns on everything you see here. Some of the more finished products like the keep and or I guess the Temple Mansion. I don't know what to call that. Like the Tan Mansion over there, and this building over here, and a couple others are a little bit more finished and flushed out. So we're gonna probably go over those first. But very briefly, I'm gonna like just fly around, let you guys look at it, and see what what's been cooking up. And then when one of these builds get finished. I'm sorry. We'll go into better detail. Let's just quickly fly around real quick. Just kind of briefly give you a little showcase. Of course, when it works, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I guess I'll briefly talk about some of my logic in the build. So, one of the things about this route is that everything's kind of built on that grid system. So, it's been a challenge to make the city feel kind of unique because you can't like turn the pieces and kind of have like a little round, I don't know, pathways. So everything's kind of squared off and gridded off, which sometimes work really well and then sometimes doesn't. Like this is the more recent part of the build, and that feels to me anyway a lot more cohesive, a lot more town-like, very close buildings, very similar looks to all the buildings. If we fly down here, I'll actually show you real quick. Even on ground level, I got a lot more space in between the buildings on the ground level, so you can kind of walk through it, and it kind of feels a little bit more natural. I actually got the flame altar in a like advantageous spot over there. We'll come up here real quick. I just briefly walk through his houses. See all these are just kind of connected. I can walk through. And like I said, all these buildings over here are like very like empty husk. Not anything real. These are like the most recent stuff, but in my opinion, a lot more cohesive on this side. On over here, which is the earlier builds, there's a lot more finished structures, kind of like this one. This is kind of one of the more finished builds here. But we got a lot more jankiness, like this one, like kind of incomplete thoughts, just kind of like ideas, trying to figure out what's possible. Um, and then we do got some finished stuff like this one. But again, it's kind of my earlier build philosophies kind of going into here. And I didn't stick with that theme. So you got like a house like this one, which is one of the more modern ones actually. Modern as in I did it later on, so more recent builds, I should probably say. And this is more cohesive to something like that build that you see over there or the other builds that you see over there. This is the first more finished structure that I did over here. And I'm gonna briefly go inside. This is like where I eventually put on my chest. But as you can see, this one actually has an interior up in there. A little bit more built out. We're built into the mountain here. I just has happily put a bed there, but I tried to put some lighting. Tried to make some designs. Got a little kitchen area. I could close this before I see it work. Will I? Yeah, we got a little office here, a little downstairs area, and we're inside the mountain now. See. this leads just back out there. But as you can see, also not quite finished, but that's the first little concept, I guess, that I started with. But let's move on a little bit more. So we got some more cool ideas right here, like a big tower build. I think this one's also kind of empty too. Yeah, it just goes into this kind of townhouse build. It's kind of more of a ladder. So. I think I built this before I unlocked the double jump. So I really needed like a large tower just to have stairs. And I don't think I have the advanced glider yet, which I got obviously now. Yeah, that's all the more recent builds. I'm gonna go down ground level one more time because one of the things I was trying to develop, I think this best illustrates this. It's like a nice walkway. See, as you can see in my earlier builds, it's super tight. All these buildings are crazy huge. And like the main thoroughfare is like just really tight. I toyed around with the idea of having like an upper city and like a mid city with these kind of like upper level walkways. But again, I never built that system out fully, so it didn't quite work how I wanted. Or it's not quite working how I wanted quite yet. But I think I did that a little bit better with this build here, which is like a 3-layered structure. A staircase at the end that overlooks this courtyard. I think looks really nice. This part is even open. We got some bedrooms in here. It looks back into this courtyard. Which we have another like master room. And a mountain leading back out here. This is some of my little bridge ideas, trying to like go over the pathway. I'm really trying to keep this pathway so that theoretically you would just happens upon this village in your regular exploration, and you can still traverse through the main path and get that path bonus and walk from one side of the build to the other. So I got 2 different bridges. I got that one. We have another build or bridge right here. This one is not as flushed out as the other one, not at all. And this leads back into, like I said, the more modern area or the more recent area, which to me feels a little bit more fleshed out. I'm still learning a lot of the build tips that I'm, first tried it. Like there's a lot to learn in this game. Game is it's very simple yet very complex when you're trying to build with a little bit more detail than what the voxels initially give you. I've seen some critiques of this game saying that it's not as fun to build in it because the voxels basically make all the trim and all the interesting bits for you, which I can kind of see, but also kind of not. Once you actually start really diving into the system, like if you see like on this build here, all these individual pieces I had to put myself. Like, yeah, the voxel kind of creates a little bit of trim, but like mixing and matching and really, if you really want to make a build feel unique, you do have to put in the work and create a lot of that yourself. Like poking out these holes to create that ledge for these windows, mixing and matching the different pieces to give these windows a little bit more pop. Popping out some of these pieces to put what would you call that, extroplasm block in there, taking out a little of this middle strip to make sure you have like a little trim piece on that wall there, putting these headers up, putting the roof pieces, like doing all of this is a lot harder than it looks, and it is a lot more intricate. Like even making this railing, there's no railing piece in the game. You have to like physically make that yourself and carve it all out yourself. Same thing for like this little planter box. Like you gotta physically make all this yourself. And at first it seemed like, oh, that'd be kind of easy, but no, like actually putting like all this roofing, all these different trim pieces together, it is a lot more complicated, which is fun, which is kind of what you want out of a build system. Like this is a very good build system that they've created, and I'm having a lot of fun in this game. But like I said, I'm not going to do too much on this video. I just kind of quickly want to show you the build, do a little quick walk around, and just let you know that we got some more videos in the tuck. We got some more videos in the tuck. But thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my video. Until the next one, I'll see you hopefully next week. We'll see you next time.